You have not seen what I have seen.
Oh, here she goes.
I have seen what I have seen.
Of course you've seen what you've seen, but what is that?
Well, do you mean specifically, or?
Of course I want specifics. So what have you seen?
I have seen many things.
Oh, Jesus Christ, be specific.
Well, you haven't seen it, so what difference does it make?
Just tell me what you've seen.
I have seen
Sauron. Oh, sod this, I'm off down the pub.
I have seen the pub.
Oh, off.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and today is the day we finally have the Season 2 teaser of The Lord of the Rings and the Ring-a-ling-a-ding-dong of Power, whatever it is that they want to call it. And, by the end of the season last year, there were almost certainly, I would be willing to bet, that there were more people watching videos dunking on each episode than there were people actually watching the episodes. You want to know how I know that that's true? Because Amazon and the entire show of the Rings of Power has started blocking people who criticize the show. I had never once interacted with the official Lord of the Rings of Power Twitter feed that pays $1,000 a month and is a sub-channel of Amazon Prime Video, and I'm pre-blocked. I didn't even know that. I knew the trailer was coming out today, so I was like, oh, let's see how the replies are. Lucky for them, just like the Rings of Power, many were formed, and thus I have used one of my alternate Rings of Power to see some of the comments going on below. Now, I want to start off by saying, hilariously, House of the Dragon ends up pulling basically a Kendrick. I don't know if people are going to get that reference. House of the Dragon basically cucked them by releasing their own Season 2 trailer within 30 minutes of when Rings of Power released theirs, thus stealing a good chunk of their free press. Now, instead of every article on the internet being about Amazon's Rings of Power Season 2, there will be a mix between House of the Dragon Season 2 and Amazon's Rings of Power Season 2. Now, I did not get into House of the Dragon. I know everyone's saying, Dragon, Jeremy says Dragon funny. Yeah, I know. But I didn't get into it. People say it was good. It appears the fans like it. 23,000 upvotes to just 150 downvotes. So obviously much more liked than the Rings of Power. So I may have to give that show a chance. Let's tune into the Rings of Power. Whoa, 41,000 dislikes in just 2 hours. Let's refresh that. I bet you by the end of this video, it's up to 51,000. It went up 10,000 in I don't know. I guess I don't know how long I've had that tab open getting ready for this video, but it currently has 51,000 dislikes, and the entire comment section is full of people dunking on them. Now, I want to say, there is very little in this trailer that I find insanely offensive or insanely bad. I think it's an okay trailer. Now it doesn't have any substance. It's all CGI. It's all, doing flippy dippies. They got the international newsreader, Don Lemon. The only time he's in the trailer is when he's doing a flip and pulling his bow. It looks ridiculous. The whole big reveal about Sauron, everybody already knew. They spoiled their own review, or their own reveal, essentially. And the fact that they're blocking people, I don't know who else has been blocked. I would suspect Disparu, Neurotic, Healers. I would suspect these fellas are also blocked because, they went way harder than I ever did. Just some of the initial responses. By the way, just so we can remind people where we were when this show left off. It launched to overwhelmingly negative reviews, where you have the stupid version of Galadriel, which is an ultra Mary Sue, taking on an ice troll all by herself, and even though it took the entire fellowship barely surviving to do that, but Galadriel can just do some sweet maneuvers. It was the most insulting crap I'd ever seen in my life. But just to remind people, While Amazon, like many streamers, provides only limited data, this is how it started versus how it's going, right? It started with Amazon having to shut off their own site reviews because it was getting millions of one-star reviews, to, by the end of the season, the Hollywood Reporter reporting, while Amazon, like other streamers, provide only limited data, and internally it held information even more closely than usual because it's a disaster. Let me ask you this. If the Rings of Power was a success, don't you think they would have been touting it? Don't you think they would have been talking about how many zillions of minutes were streamed and how this, that, and the other? Never saw anything like that, right? It held information closely. Sources confirmed that Rings of Power had a 37% domestic completion rate. Customers who actually watched the entire season. Less than 40% of the people stuck out the season. That's how bad it was. Now, overseas, it reached a whopping 45%. Of 50%, they say completion rate would be a solid but not spectacular result, according to insiders. I mean, I can't imagine thinking that only half of the people tuning in to the first episode of a series, making it to the end, would be seen as anything other than a complete, unmitigated disaster. I mean, by the way, if you're enjoying my video and you made it halfway through now, please do remember to leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, subscribe or follow down below. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it, a lot more than Amazon would. They continued, the show has not been a major awards contender either, overlooked by all major guilds, with the exception of the SAG-AFTRA nomination for simply the stunt ensemble. That's all that there was. So fortunately, I can access my Rings of Power here to see some of the replies, and they are absolutely spectacular. You can see Master of the TDS, and an evil and ancient and powerful has returned. Me, yeah, it's the sorry excuse for the show. Carl Benjamin coming in, Sargon of Akkad with most expensive cosplay ever. Yeah, how come these people haven't been blocked? I'm sure they're blocked by now. Nerdrotic coming in with the Galadriel. And of you see Sweet Jesus X really needs to add a dislike button. The show cannot be salvaged. Sorry. By the way, they have already started work on season 3. I don't know just how badly, I don't know how badly they're willing to take this. I mean, I don't think there is really any fixing this show. I had mentioned this near the end of the season last year when I had the coof, I think, during the final couple of episodes. The only saving grace would have been a literal hard reboot. Get rid of Galadriel, because that character blows. And, by the way, not the real Galadriel, the Galadriel that they put on the screen, who was a super huge, mega powerful star, more powerful than Sauron and Gandalf combined. Okay, the most ridiculously OP character with no character growth at all throughout the entire. You got to scrap that. Now, can you find a way to humble Galadriel somehow and get her starting over, give her amnesia or something? I don't know, but it needed a hard reboot. You see a lot of people, this will suck, Woke of the Rings. Here's someone say put it in theaters. It's actually impressive how you continue to make this look worse. Prime is already busy hiding comments they don't like. So it's they're hiding. So they're hiding replies, blocking people. It's so hilarious. Still no. Such great writing. I can't wait for more. Nobody likes you. I mean, this is still looks like garbage. I mean, looks like some Disney stuff. I don't even know. At what point do they just give up? I don't know if you can do that because you have so many people. I think what Amazon probably has to do is start promoting it and locking the replies. That's quite simply, that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to lock the replies and promote it that way and live with getting quote tweeted into oblivion. That's the only way. I mean, quite frankly, I know we make fun of people that do that, rightfully so. But if I were in charge of marketing for them, that's what you'd have to do. Because imagine you're just a casual fan and you're like, Wait a minute. I didn't know there was a Lord of the Rings TV show. Oh, they have a season 2 preview. Well, let me check. Whoa. Everyone's dunking on it. Everyone says it's a piece of garbage. You know what I mean? Like, this is just bad. And then anybody else, even Culture Crave, which is like spams out stuff, even there won't be watching the show. The return of everyone's least favorite characters. Return of a series that nobody asked for. I mean, oh, here's someone. This looks good. I may go watch season 1. There you go. One person. I'm sorry. This looks terrible. I mean, everyone's excited about this. One of the worst trailers of our lifetime. I mean, there's nobody. By the way, I would be willing to bet. I'd be willing to bet you that we need Master of the TDS to look into this. I'd be willing to bet you that they are deploying bots to try and, counter the negative narrative. Now, are there some sort of dislike bots? I don't know, because it seems so weird. Like, it was at 51,000 just before. Let's see what we're at now. 56,000. This is going to be at 100,000 dislikes probably by the time I upload this video. It's insane. The comment section filled with, what impresses me the most about this trailer is they haven't turned the comment section off. I think he's been here all day long. Maybe the real Sauron are the friends we made along the way. Sauron, did you put the Rings of Fire into Mount Doom? Gandalf asked calmly. I mean, at last, Alliance of Lord of the Rings fans marched against Amazorion and the slopes of the internet. They fought for the freedom of Middle-earth. I mean, it's like somehow Sauron has returned. In the comments, don't worry, HBO just released House of the Dragon Season 2 trailer. Again, it's so funny. Like one wig to prank them all. Yeah, they're like, oh, it's Sauron. Oh, we didn't recognize him at all. His hair looked completely different. It's so wild how hated this show is compared to... Now, granted, House of the Dragon is like a prequel. It's not exactly like destroying any, long-established lore with people. Now, I will say this, okay? This has been out for 1 hour. It's got 33,000 upvotes to 333 downvotes. That's funny. It's already got more likes than the Amazon trailer with half as many views and a third as much time online. I never really viewed these shows as competing, to be honest, because you can watch shows whenever you want. But that's got to be an embarrassment from Amazon. The people at HBO are all high-fiving each other the way that they dunked on them. And it's going to be an interesting season. It comes out late August 29th. So it's going to be a fun summer, fall and winter for all of us. What do you think? You think you're going to tune in and give Lord of the Rings and the Ring-a-ling-a-ding-dong a second try? Or are you going to continue to enjoy dunking on it for another full season like me? I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like in the video, subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.